that shit now, nigga. What the fuck you mean, nigga?
Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. I'm actually not afraid of Marcus Peters Perna. I've never lost a fight with a guy who initiated it by calling me a square.
Yeah, square ass nigga, talk that shit now, nigga.
And how can I be intimidated by a man who tackles with the ferocity of a meerkat? Yes, I see you rushing for the end zone, and I shall allow you to rush all the way into the end zone as I watch. I'm Marcus Meerkat Peters. 7 teams were eliminated from the playoffs this weekend. The Broncos, the Bengals, the Giants, the Packers, the BUCS, and the Falcons. And the Lions. That's 7. So let's go ahead and recap all of the games with the kind of hard-hitting intimidation that would make Marcus Peters proud. That's good sports. Please, if you haven't done so already, just subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm only like 900,000 subscribers away from 1 million. We can make it happen together. Also, this episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. Use my promo code, That's Good, and you will get $20 off of your first ticket purchase at SeatGeek. There's a link in the description to take you there. Look, playoffs? Is your team in the playoffs? You might want to use a $20 discount before you buy NFL playoff tickets. Also, maybe you want to get your wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend tickets to a concert, a comedy show, something for Christmas, and you might want to use my promo code That's Good to save yourself a little money. So please, go to SeatGeek if you're thinking about attending an event with my promo code That's Good. First, we gotta go back to Saturday. The Houston Texans defeated the Jets 29-22. Right now, the Texans have a first-round bye for the first time in their 17-year history. DeAndre Hopkins made another ridiculous catch in the end zone, and the fact that you're wondering which touchdown I'm talking about proves just how good he is. If DeAndre Hopkins played for, say, the Giants, he would have been on the last 6 Madden covers. If DeAndre Hopkins was on the Patriots, they'd be able to beat teams like the Dolphins and Steelers. If DeAndre Hopkins ran Facebook, it would still be cool. The Falcons just ambushed Arizona 40-14. Basically, Atlanta said, fuck it. Draft picks are for nerds, and couldn't resist stuffing Josh Rosen and the Cardinals into a locker. I mean, they did it in a playful way though, like a hazing way, not like a hardcore bullying way. Get in this locker, Rosen. Let's see your daddy's lawyers protect you now. Don't worry, dude. We do this to all rookie QBs. We'll let you out after next period, so we can all go get high with Julio down by the schoolyard. Bet you didn't see me turning that into a Paul Simon joke, did ya? David Johnson actually scored a touchdown just in time for the fantasy football playoffs, which was perfect for all of the people that took him in the first round and won 2 games this year. This whole game looked like the vintage Falcons, a long Tevin Coleman run, Julio Jones putting up huge numbers, and Deion Jones getting a pick 6. All except for the part where they hung on to the lead. The Ravens beat the Bucks 20-12, maintaining their wild card spot. I have to admit, it was a little sad seeing Joe Flacco on the sideline as a backup quarterback for the first time in his career. I don't know how good of a mentor he is to Lamar Jackson, although he might be the one telling him to run the ball 17 times a game just so he can get on the field again. Elite starter? Maybe. Elite backup? Definitely. Jameis Winston completed 49.7% of his passes the last 2 weeks. 49.7% is also the percentage of football fans who still remember there's a 97% chance Jameis Winston is a rapist, which gives him the highest percentage in that department, ahead of only Ben Roethlisberger. The Buffalo Bills defeat the Detroit Lions 14-13. The most exciting thing in this game, though, was a helmet getting stuck to Tremaine Edmonds' back, proving yet again the NFL still doesn't take head injuries seriously. No flag on this play? No ejection for a beheading? No decency by the NFL. Absolutely disgusting. Josh Allen completed 50% of his passes, and Matthew Stafford completed 75.9% of his, yet only threw for 4 more yards than Josh Allen in a loss. Proving once and for all, if you're smart enough to only do 50% of the work and still get credit for a win, you're a better quarterback. Nobody outside of Buffalo or Detroit watched this game. Not even CBS, who thought this game was a tie. I mean, not only did they get the score wrong, look at the great writing. That's exactly what happened on Sunday between Buffalo and Detroit. Packers lose to the Bears, 24-17. Now the Bears become the true kings of the North, winning the NFC North. And like all previous men named King of the North will probably have their fucking heads cut off in the playoffs by ruthless men disguised as saints. I will say this, Mitch Trubisky is the most talented, inaccurate quarterback I have ever seen play the position. And as a Broncos fan, I watched every single Tim Tebow game. With this win over Aaron Rodgers and others, the Bears became this year's worst to first triumph story. And to say they partied harder than Ernest Hemingway would be an understatement. Now this might make me the get off my lawn guy, but I hate seeing this in an NFL locker room. It's just a reminder of another cool club or party that I won't be allowed into. Fucking dicks. The Bengals beat the shit out of the Raiders, 30-16. Jeff Driskel gets his first win in the NFL. Congratulations, Jeff. Tyler Boyd caught a touchdown and then did the river dance in the end zone, just like Chad Johnson. A very cultured choice, although he could have opted for the pylon putter. Celebration of the fake Hall of Fame jacket, which is now quite ironic in hindsight for Chad Johnson. The Cowboys lose to the Colts, 23-0. To 0, Dallas. You know it's a bad loss for the Cowboys when Skip Bayless's sideburns start bleeding like they're statues of the Virgin Mary weeping tears of blood. Skip said he injured his head running, but I think somebody should check on him every hour and make sure this wasn't a suicide attempt. The Colts blocked a field goal early in this game. At first it was ruled a touchdown, but was reversed upon review. I was watching this live, and this was the camera angle they gave us of the exciting return. You can't argue with the refs if the TV doesn't show the fucking play. It didn't matter because the Colts scored a touchdown anyway. Everyone talks about the Cowboys defense, but what about this no-name Colts defense stuffing Zeke Elliott on 4th and 1 at the goal line? I say no name, but really we all know Darius Leonard might be the defensive rookie of the year. He broke Jarrell Freeman's team record for most tackles by a rookie in a season, and the Colts broke the hearts of more Dallas fans than when JR blew his brains out in the season finale.
Well, that's Dallas.
Washington defeats Jacksonville 16-13. Josh Johnson leads a comeback win against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have to be thinking, why the hell didn't we give Josh Johnson a call? Johnson deserves some type of bravery citation because after seeing Alex Smith and Colt McCoy break their legs, I wouldn't set foot in that huddle. I would have crossed Washington right the fuck off my list after I saw Joe Theismann's injury, let alone Gus Frerotte headbutting a wall and getting a concussion, and RG3's knee getting swallowed up by the quicksand on FedEx Field. I will say Jay Gruden should be considered for NFL's Coach of the Year, jumping ahead of Matt Nagy of the Bears and Frank Reich with the Colts after winning with his 4th starting quarterback this season, and somehow still having a chance to make the playoffs. Minnesota spanked the Miami Dolphins 41-17. The Vikings scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter of this game, proving once and for all that former offensive coordinator John DeFilippo did in fact suck. Also proving to Miami you only get 1 miracle per season in the NFL. Christmas came early and in 80-degree weather for Miami yet again. Dolphins running back Kalen Ballage scored a 73-yard touchdown in this game. And here I was thinking Kalen Ballage was just an expensive entree at a vegan restaurant, or Miami's version of the prairie oyster. No matter what you stuff down your gullet, Minnesota's 9 sacks and 220 rushing yards makes them feel like a very dangerous team if they get into the playoffs. The Titans posted the second shutout, defeating the Giants 17-0. What do you call a quarterback who gets shut out with Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham Jr., and Sterling Shepard? It's Eli Manning, because he's disappearing at an alarming rate. The Giants became the second NFC East team on the day to score 0 points. Derrick Henry ran for 170 more yards in this game, giving him over 400 in just the last 2 weeks. As a Titans fan, you have to be excited that your team rushed for 215 yards, but terrified they only threw for 86 net passing yards. But excited again that they held Saquon Barkley to just 31 rushing yards. If Tennessee makes the playoffs, I'm 50% certain they will be competitive and 50% certain they will lose badly in the first game. That's just the Titans. The Seahawks blow it against the 49ers, losing in overtime 26-23. This was the only game that went into overtime this weekend, and the only game where every single person who predicted the outcome of it was wrong. We learned that Sebastian Janikowski is about as good as Rob Gronkowski at tackling and saving touchdowns that ultimately cost your team a victory and fuck up your playoff seeding. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan and GM John Lynch officially have it figured out. Don't try until the end of the season. That way everyone thinks you're an up-and-coming team next season and you will keep your jobs forever. I get what you're doing, guys. And yes, it happened. The Patriots lose back-to-back weeks, this time to the Steelers 17-10. Chris Hogan, Patriots wide receiver, scored the most wide-open touchdown I have ever seen. Seriously, the nearest defender was 20 yards away from him, but in poetic justice, that would be the only Patriots touchdown of the day. Brady could only complete passes when his receivers had at least 5 yards of separation. Well, nothing new there. I hate to give the Patriots credit, but this punt coverage unit working together to keep the ball in bounds is a special teams thing of beauty. And you know Bill Belichick loves him some good special teams play. This is what Bill Belichick thinks about when he needs to maintain an erection during mandatory Tuesday night sex with his wife. Yes, Belichick definitely schedules his sex. Tom Brady threw an interception in the red zone in the fourth quarter. He's under pressure and he just chucks it up on a prayer. Oh, Tom, the Patriots are in bed with Satan. Prayers don't get answered. I think you've spent too much time hanging out with Bon Jovi. Living on a prayer. Bill Belichick complimented Juju Smith-Schuster after the game, but little does Juju know that whenever Bill Belichick pats an opposing player on the back, that's just him leaving a bug. And you wonder why the Patriots are gonna beat the Steelers by 50 the next time they play. Probably 3 weeks in the playoffs. Rex Ryan said Rob Gronkowski looks like he's running with the piano on his back, which is totally a thing that people do. I wouldn't expect Rex Ryan to know how pianos work, since I'm pretty sure he only watches if someone's playing with their feet. So, okay, since I showed you what keeps Bill Belichick's penis activated, I must do the same thing for Rex Ryan. It's only fair. And then the Sunday Night Football Showdown. Philadelphia Eagles win 30-23 against the Rams. Many people believe Nick Foles should be credited for reviving the Eagles' playoff hopes. But I honestly believe credit belongs to Will Smith.
In South Philadelphia, the birds are dazed with the 6-7 record. Sports radio's crazed. Add injury to insult, Wentz is out. Can the MVP Foles dodge a playoff knockout?
So he is standing tall and erect. Big Dick Nick Foles, back on top. Does Nick Foles tape that thing to his leg or just let it air out? Maybe it came untaped and threw off his accuracy when he got Talib for the first time since Aqib Talib returned from injury. The Eagles' offense was stuck until the third quarter when it busted out for 17 points. Wendell Smallwood scored 2 touchdowns for the Eagles, although we all know he's just on the team to balance out Nick Foles. Now the Rams had a chance to win this game, but saw their case for a victory fall apart when Watson had a phantom fumble on a punt return with just less than 5 minutes left in the game. And then Sean McVay's face became a meme. This win very much keeps the Eagles in the playoffs. Marcus Peters clearly was agitated by his team's performance and nearly fought a fan in the crowd.
Where you from, homie? Where you from? Yeah, square ass nigga, talk that shit now, nigga. What the fuck you mean, nigga?
Which makes me finally see why the Chiefs got rid of him. Can you imagine Marcus Peters saying this to Andy Reid?
Yeah, square ass nigga, talk that shit now, nigga.
Andy is not a square, he's an oval. And you can't try and shove a square peg in an oval, coach. And those are your week 15 NFL recaps. Thanks for watching here on That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this channel. If you mildly enjoyed it, just share it on your social media. That would be a really big help to me. Big shout out to @WillKey6 for helping me write these episodes. Follow him on Twitter. I'm on Twitter @BrandonPerna, Instagram @BrandonPerna, and click the videos on the screen if you want to watch more football stuff.